position, or can SBTC actually kind of weather the storm of Yasuo and Diana engage and then just counterpunch with Swain, with Aurelia, and especially Amumu?
There's of course the X factor as well of Empire. If he finds a flank, there's not a huge amount Sivir can do. You can block the damage from the first Q, but you can't actually dodge the Aurelia getting on top of you. So Emperor, I think, is really empowered to be the X factor here for SE. I think they need that, but we've got the drafts, and you guys gave your pre-series prediction, but now looking at game 1, who do you think's coming out on top, Marby?
Well, I'm casting, so ask your way.
SBTC for me.
Okay, your way. SBTC. Well, with that, I will give over to the casters, and as she alluded to, Marby will be one of them. The other one will be the illustrious, the magnificent, the amazing Rebel Fox. Take it away, my friend.
Thank you very much, Carrix, for introducing us into this game and bringing us in from our wonderful analyst desk, as I have been molding behind the scenes about the fact that Kadi once again denies me my Anivia pick that he's been famous for in the past. But nonetheless, we get a nice action-packed game here to kick things off, Bobby.
Yeah, it would have been nice to see the bird person go up against the bird. Would have been lovely. Fantastic matchup, but no, the Yasuo was pretty much predicted from the moment that Diana showed her head, which is why I was really after the Azir. It really stuck out to me as this is a good option that gets around Wind Wall, can punish the Yasuo pretty well. Plus, it can always jump in alongside this big team fight situation that SBTC kind of wants to run with, or can play that kite back if alongside Kalista if they decide. In the end, Swain going to perform very well in those team fights, but can have that never move interrupted a little bit if that happens. But right now, off to a pretty slow start, just sort of waiting for things to happen. Kalista and Palette bait sort of hiding in that river, not necessarily giving away anything. This is more than I expected.
Immediately, as fast as possible, jumping in. And it was such an interesting move from Celebrity Palette, who just walk in. They understand they've got the Glacial, so you can't really fight on top of it. You lose so much damage. Have to burn the entire Exhaust and Bee's Flash to live that for just the Ignite of Palette. As well as pulling very heavy priority on the first wave, and also denying Style any CS off of this. I think he's lost at least 4 or 5 minions just to the minions dying as level 2 gets approached as well. Somehow Palette, I think, was 1 step ahead of Celebrity, and that might have made a difference for the leveling system, which is very rare, but pretty cool to see nonetheless.
Yeah, so there we go. Now the second level is here for Celebrity. Style has been just denied so much. Can't even really pick up a few. Now he's running out a little bit. Celebrity is kind of low, still has a health pot in hand, so shouldn't be under too much threat.
Take a look at the jungle too, because DNK is just going to get here on top of Levi as fast as possible. Is going to get the fear off. I think the auto attacks won't be enough necessarily from DNK. Levi jumps back in, going to have to flash over the wall almost certainly here as DNK wants the smoke, because that's going to burn one, but it buys enough time for Kadi to show up as he's going to miss it though. And the smite over the wall is going to keep him alive, prevent the Ignite from ticking him down anywhere near enough damage as Kadi on the roam almost is able to punish DNK's aggression, as everybody's just finding ways to make action here in the early parts of the game.
So no, a lot blown. Late Wind Wall means the never move will still hit him from behind, and Dion just finding a good, nice little trades and health advantages, and yeah, DNK absolutely man-moding it, just deciding, I'm going to cross the jungle. I know I win this level 1, well, not level 1, but like early trades right now with just being an auto-attack based champion, high cooldowns for Diana. This is going quite well, and he's doing his little roamy thing while everybody's out of lane. Gets a good pressure for Kadi, should let him reset pretty comfortably. Keeps DL1 kind of low. Still has some pots ticking. Can always heal up. Just back to standard.
And what is our play or expectation, I suppose, for when we expect both teams to be spiking here? Because you've got this interesting array of, like, you got your Kalista and Amumu on the bottom side, you got Nocturne as well to try to play around. On the opposite side, you've got Diana Yasuo. So, like, when do you anticipate these teams starting their fighting? Are we waiting for, like, Rift Herald? Are we waiting for Dragons? Are we waiting for, like, second item? Like, well, what spike are we waiting for?
So, I feel this is one of the rare situations where we have two farming junglers that both really kind of want to wait for 6. Levi is going to try and make something happen while there's nothing on the map.
He's not going to wait for 6. Paulette actually goes in with that Glacial Augment, once again trusting the damage and the reduction behind that to make sure they're going to be safe, as there's no ways to really pull them back into the teams, just a little bit of health sacrificed. So they're coming in with the wave. This would be a tough dive, I think, to manage. You still have the Q, and the Q misses from Levi as well, so that's almost certainly going to prevent any sort of dive from coming through. As a lot of action around the bottom side of the map, not super shocking with the champions we kind of see down here, but Levi already getting very aggressive across the map.
So Levi didn't really have anything on his anything to go for on the map.
Ooh, action everywhere. So that's going to be a W in from B, forces the flash from Paulette. The mid lane, I think, is also action that's going to be going. Levi going to jump in on Dia1. He's not going to be able to find anything. He's not going to tag either. His DNK is going to go after Kadi, who's not going to actually fall to him right now. Now they're hunting after DNK. Is he going to be able to find anything? He can't, as it's a double kill for Levi in the mid lane.
Not respecting the health trades. Just Dia1 getting so low off of. I don't know. We kind of missed that. We just sort of caught the end there, and Dia1 was starting on nothing, because in the bot side, Paulette tried to punish a style, but he kind of baited it in, and yeah, Dia1's just had some rough trades. Gets chunked really low, and then they try to force this gank, and Levi's just in the right position to just capitalize. They just weren't tracking this Diana properly. They overforced with very little setup, and now this will definitely give Levi the edge on that race to 6, and he can start having a actual impact in these lanes instead of sort of having to rely on those lanes to set him up. He can just jump in, press Moonfall, probably pick up another kill onto Dia1 alongside Kadi, and if Kadi gets ahead, he can actually start contesting the wave, start contesting the shove, and then move to a side lane, bully Enpa. If you remove that Irelia's ability to kill Gnar.
A little bit of action as Emperor jumps onto Ki. He's got 2 people behind him, though, so Ki is not under any threat at the moment, at least for a second. Zenper, again, fancies his chances a little bit inside of melee range. You have the Mega Gnar coming up for Kiaya. As in the mid lane, it looks like there's going to be another little Tilly happening. I wonder if we get that any second now, as DNK's got the fear onto Kadi. He's going to be able to find that. Swain Ultimate also slowing him down, doing some damage. As Kadi's going to get to the other side, he's going to jump back in. I think he's going to go down to Dia1 as there's reinforcement from Paulette. Here comes Kiaya, flashes in, throws the Gnar against the wall. That's going to be another, as Dia1 just continues to pump out this damage on this Swain. He's got reinforcements from Emperor, who's going to pop the ultimate, and that's going to be 2 stunned. They might have to leave from this fight. I think Emperor wants a little bit more. He's going to find Mininar right there. They're not going to be able to get in. W's going to be able to deny enough damage. It's just Dia1, who's been standing in the middle of 3 members the entire time, who's trying to hunt down the last members of this. I think it ends up just being a 2-for-1 here in favor of GAM, who somehow get out of that situation relatively unscathed. But I mean, 1 extra item for Dia1, 1 little bit of AP feels like you would have ripped through so many health bars there.
Yeah, if he had anything except for some armor, that's all he's bought right now. He sits here for so long. This whole thing takes forever, but he uses the demonic flare really early, right here. In fact, I think it actually might have missed Kati, but in the end, just there's no real damage Paulette gets here, and they're just constantly fighting at a numbers disadvantage. Dia, of course, draining off 3 people gets to survive the 1v3, and Empa can actually provide enough damage to kill 1, but they already realize here, we're not killing Dia, so we'll just kill Empa and go 1 at a time, kill the not Swain. And in the end, yeah, Dia just gets to sit there, drain a lot of health, and be like, well, this stat looks really nice, and he's still not building damage. Okay, it's Imperial Mandate again.
Yeah, see, this I don't particularly like. I don't know what your opinion on this is, but like the Imperial Mandate's good into some compositions, but when he's sole AP, I feel like you don't want to give that responsibility over to others, especially when it's like, it's Callista. It's not like the super hyper carry that like a Sivir or like a Zeri especially can make up. It's Emperor who's going to be doing a lot of your damage, and so to me, I would rather have a Swain with like Rylai's Rush, maybe Leandry's thrown in there, just for some additional damage backbone, as we're taking stock of everything. DNK did just get Rift Herald as a response to the dragon that got taken by GAM, as GAM is also sitting at 1,500 gold lead, something like that right now.
The only other, generally, yeah, I agree. You really want to, if you have someone else who's going to be a big super hyper damage carry, then yeah, that's when I like Imperial Mandate. Or if you're playing against a kite back composition, because constantly proccing that mandate is going to give you so much more movement speed to help run it down. But yeah, in this sort of situation where both teams are just trying to butt heads, definitely just prefer the Leandries, just prefer that damage to come out from that Swain and be a big threat on his own accord. Now Emperor might be getting baited in a little bit.
Okay, this is not the first time that we've seen this, unfortunately. Emperor, he's going to throw out the W. He's going to bounce through the rest of the wave. Ultimate's going to get him through to the other side. Flash is going to get him out potentially as Levi has to jump back in underneath the tower, but he doesn't have one. As Emperor sneaks his way out of that situation.
That man had no right getting out, but he played that so damn well. No follow-up E from Levi to secure the kill, and yeah, looked really Flash. In the end, is going to have to blow Flash and return to base. So net win for the side of GAM, but yeah, did not get the kill they came for, and it's still huge control for the side of GAM.
I think my favorite part about that entire play, which goes completely underrated because of the mobility that you saw from Emperor, was that he also got most of that wave because he used it to bounce around and leave. And so he got probably 4 or 5 of the minions out of the wave and also got the flash out. So it wasn't even like they denied him a minion wave or something like that. Instead, they had to wait for the second one, which was only just catching as Emperor just returned to the tower. Probably lost a couple off that too, but not nearly the impact I'm sure that they wanted that gang to have by any standard whatsoever. And in this game already, it feels like there's a lot of agency now for GAM around Levi Cotty, which is this combination we talk about all the time. And we know that Levi's the linchpin for the team, has a lot of the damage here. The faith that you have in these two is something I have to question, because again, Cotty has been something we've been kind of putting under the microscope for a good amount of time for very good reason. Do you think the Yasuo is going to be something valuable enough to where, again, style being down 20 CS, 25 CS, 30 CS at this point in the game is going to be fine if they start skirmishing around some of these neutral objectives?
I feel he's going to be fine. He's slowly building up, and if nothing else, once it comes to it, he is going to be a nice little bit of CC to keep them in place for a boomerang blade or a Gnar to get in position. So yeah, I feel Cardi's going to be just fine at his minimum level. And besides, so far he's been playing okay. He got traded out 1-for-1 in that big skirmish on the top side, 2-for-1 even. And yeah, he's holding his own quite well. He's up in CS against this Swain. So yeah, he's absolutely doing more than fine. Plus, as we've mentioned, yeah, that rough start of the split, that definitely made us worried. A big part of why GAM has such a rough time getting wins on the board. But these past 2 series, even the one they lost against Cerberus, Carty felt like he was one of the best players on his team. So I'm glad to see a bit more of a return to form from this mid laner who...
Jump in just as fast as possible. Dive. Flash forced out from Levi, as there's also no stun to come through, but it is going to still force a flash out of Cotty, as both of them were up in the river. I think try to posture around the bottom side, maybe even to make a movement into bottom lane, but instead gets counteracted by DNK's ultimate. He's going to drop the Rift Herald in mid lane just to pull some plates. I don't think he had another better option for that. So instead, it's just going to get the charge in right now, get a little bit of gold. I don't think it went on to anybody but DNK. And bottom river is contested once again. You have about a minute until the dragon. And that's about all. We're just kind of wrestling back and forth for positioning around this mid lane, it seems like.
Getting to the point where Style is just controlling these the spot wave. He will always have first shove realistically on this Sivir. And we've seen a plate already go down for him. So small advantages in the lanes really coming up for the side of GAM. It's only that 1k gold. But their next move is going to realistically be around this dragon. 30 seconds to it. They have one Drake already. I wouldn't imagine SBTC are really going to look to contest it. There's not really a big need to. Maybe that, considering there's not really much else to do, they just sort of try and drop some wards down, set a trap, and drop a palette on top of someone's head, and then follow up from there. But as it is, yeah, they're just... Okay, no, never mind. I forgot where we are. They're posturing. Yeah. Posturing has begun.
I was about to say, you said boredom, and immediately I was like, yeah, VCS doesn't handle boredom very well. We would rather throw games and get out of game as fast as possible than sit here and do anything else. You watched the winter split. You saw how many games got flipped at 8 minutes in the game with Rift Herald. As it's actually SBTC who are the first ones into the river here. DNK's got proper positioning. He doesn't know we have ultimate up, but they have the rest of the ultimates ready and raring to go when the time comes, as well as Dia1 finishing the mandate. They're going to jump onto Cotty. They don't quite have Palette in position to be able to force them out, as all of GAM has worked their way back through mid lane, pushing out DNK, burning his flash. That means that SE...
Rush. Yeah, Emperor's lurking in the brush, wants to either catch Kiaya if he steps up too far, or have that teleport position.
Okay, Paulette is going to deny immediately. Great ultimate right outside the pit. They're going to have to turn off the dragon immediately to go for this play. Celebrity gets exhausted in the midst of everything. A double knockup, and Emperor's bouncing around the fight as the dragon goes over, but multiple kills down to the side of SE. Is they're able to pull everybody. Celebrity continues going. Is he going to be able to find the play against Paulette saves him. Is he going to be able to grab him with the bandage toss? His 3 kills go over to Celebrity, even past the exhaust, as SE walk out the massive victors. 4 kills and the dragon over to the side of SE.
Absolutely played it out beautifully, getting everyone into position for their ultimates to line up. Just fantastic team fighting. We're going to see right here, Paulette in a great position to just try and stall Levi out as long as possible. They go for the burst, gets interrupted a little bit, but then they're all clumped up for the re-engage off the Fate's Call, the Vanguard's Edge, and DO1, of course, just sitting there draining to his heart's content. Style almost gets to get one back, but Paulette from over the wall. Everything lines up beautifully for SBTC Esports, and GAM is just left going, well, that sucked. Because they don't even get to reset on the map in time for a rift out.
It's a really weird situation because GAM kind of got pulled in so many directions. Levi jumped towards the dragon. The team wasn't prepared to team fight. It didn't look like that far out from the dragon either. It was a circumstance also where, like, who actually do you focus down on the side of SE, right? Okay. Like, it's like Emperor is not going to die. DNK is never going to die. Dia1's never going to die. Celebrity is like your best bet. But again, that's also Callista, who isn't got the most in the world. So,
DNK?
Okay, wait, Dia, you'll get it? Okay, we're good. We're fine. That was planned. It was planned. That's okay.
It was planned.
Scuttle is more valuable than Rift Herald. We know this.
Yeah, absolutely. They try and bait you with the big purple one. No, you want
not worth it. No,
green one.
Little green one. Little green crab. That's the one you want.
Little green one. That's all you want. Yeah, just
ask C9. Ask Blabber. He'll tell you the same thing.
He won't tell you that. Yeah, and anyway, DO1 has it now. He's going to really enjoy that on his side lane push up against Kiaya right now, so he'll be able to take that down at some point. Good to see. Bot lane tower was taken on the side of GAM. That is the first brick, so this pressure coming out from the Sivir coming to fruition in some respect, giving them a little bit of gold to work with. However, yeah, that Rift Herald in pocket should mean that gets evened up quite quickly. And there's still a little bit of a gold advantage for SBTC. It's not much. It's only that 1k flipped back around that wasn't for GAM. Now we're just going to start seeing side lanes. Can they really clash? Who's going to come out on top? Currently it looks like Carty, but he's feeling really confident with a Diana in tow. So just going to have to play a little bit safe as Emperor. No solo kills coming out just yet, but he's already played a fantastic earlier in team fights. DO1 in mid lane, that's going to be a good Rift Herald opportunity.
Okay, they're going to try to crack mid tower. One Rift Herald has already struck this tower. Looks like they've gotten enough damage to be able to pull this very easily. Like you said, DO1 popping that one down, just getting the first structure of the game off the board here for the side of SE. So it's going to get a second charge potentially. The smite, is it going to save it? It's not. So instead, damage to come through. There's nothing else really to be had. SE just kind of escorting their one Rift Herald into the turret as best they can, and then leaving, giving them, it's still only about 1,000 gold lead. Didn't get them all that much, but at least it does give mid tower. They can push up vision a little bit better now. There's a lot of catching tools, especially when it comes to a Mumu. And somehow Emperor got left alone during this entire expenditure. I believe that Nar was on the other side of the map. Kiaya getting a little bit of gold elsewhere, but Emperor now collecting this bottom turret for his troubles.
In the end, it's top tower traded for bot tower, trading sides of the map, and then the Rift Herald in mid lane. So just looking to sort of trade this gold, make sure accelerate these top laners, get them to a place where they feel comfortable. And all in all, it works out quite nicely for the side of SBTC, extends the gold a little bit more. But we're still just sort of waiting for that next objective, a minute to that dragon. SBTC did get it, so we're still a while away from any objective. There's noises?
DNK just like haphazardly smited the Gromp over the wall. It was like a half health. There's no chance he was getting it. That was just a desperation or frustration smite right there, just to try to get the Gromp because it was resetting. It's
smite.
Yeah, it's just funny whenever you see goofy moments like that, because VCS always has these funny little moments that kind of pop up out of nowhere, and that one caught me on guard a little bit. That was it. So,
all right, that's it. Yeah, just
we get
a
we get a brief respite before the Dragon, because the Dragon is up in 15 seconds, and neither team actually is really that postured for this. Mid lane, it looks like SE is kind of ramping up for it, because right now they're controlling mid lane. They've got the 1 minion coming in, but they're going to catch this high so they can move in. They're the only one with vision in the area. I think more than anything, GAM is also now willing and comfortable to try to maybe not take any fights that are perfect for them. And at the moment, this one is not anywhere near perfect for them, so they're a little bit terrified. So I guess that begs the question, no dragon, not going to happen. They don't know where anyone on GAM is, so they don't realize that GAM is just giving this objective to them if they wanted it.
You see, Baron spawned. So
okay.
GAM has a lot of damage. They have 2 crit 80 carries. They might go for it. They're that crazy. You can't trust them.
From our perspective, we could see that GAM was backing with multiple members. Obviously, SE can't make that distinction because the map was dark, and so they can't see that there is no Baron. So I agree with your analysis here that I think that was the threat. And in fact, GAM just now is moving into topside river because, like you said, they have a lot of members that do very consistent damage to this Baron buff. And they also have a good composition for trying to turn and fight, right? Like if you have Meganar, if you have Diana with Yasuo, and then Sivir to back up that damage, they've got quite a bit. Is that their best kind of way to win this game? Because it seems like at some point, Sivir is obviously very good in the late game, but like this Diana Yasuo has not been used to its fullest quite yet. And you're playing into a very bulky type of team. Like, is that something they can rely on to win them fights in 5 minutes, 10 minutes from now? Or do they really just have to hope that style is going to win this game for them?
I feel like a little bit you are going to have to rely on the style a little bit, because yes, they are just too bulky to really cut through and delete with that Diana Yasuo, but it should be enough, like setting up the fights and making the turns happen on your prerogative is exactly what you want, pretty much, especially with 2 team fighting comps. Whoever gets the initiative realistically will have the better chance.
Oh, actually, we get an immediate jump in. Levi, he's going to press ultimate. It's only going to hit a couple of members. His Palat hasn't even popped ultimate yet. His Emperor's on the backline trying to get as best as possible. As B pulls out 1 member. That's an ultimate, but he only tags the 1. As like, right in the middle of everything, we are buffering. We're going to go back in time, and I wonder if there's going to be a fight starting anytime soon.
You just can't tell.
What? Is it going to happen? Oh, wow! Oh, an engagement! Oh, wow! Oh, my goodness! Oh, we weren't expecting this. But again, we're watching Emperor on the backline. He's trying to fight off as many people as possible. He looks like he's going to get jumped on as only 1 gets caught up by the Amumu ultimate into the backline. Styles just now able to carry things, and multiple members are going down on the side. Celebrity only just now showing up. Is he going to be able to help carry the backside of this fight? He's going to be chopping damage into multiple members that are low on the side of GAM. As Dia1's able to help get at least 1. Now Levi's under some threat. Can Celebrity catch him? He cannot catch him with a kill. Can he get anything else? Because he was slowed down by the E. He's not going to be able to catch Celebrity, as that's multiple members. SE able to turn the fight that looks so bad to kick things off. Oh my goodness, Mobby, like that just shifts everything. I thought GAM was finally going to take one, but unfortunately the reinforcement works out well.
Yeah, 3 for 3 overall. It started so damn well, but we just kind of said it. They don't really quite have enough damage to burst through the members. The exhaust coming in clutch on multiple members pretty much. We're going to start to see it here. Just, it starts off well, but you only really half health Palat, and then Emperor just feels really comfortable jumping over. The exhaust will deny him anything going on, but by the time Kiai gets his big ult in, the damage has already abandoned ship, and Dia1 is just not taking any damage. Kati died very early on, and that removed the grievous wounds, so he just got to keep going, and oh my goodness, they just took it.
Yes, they did. During that fight, I'm a little upset that Palet went after, like, Kiaya and not just jumping haphazardly into 3 members that could have opened up Celebrity to maybe pick up 2 or 3 kills. But one way or another, it leads to SE ending up pulling this Baron because we lost that off camera. One way or another, they end up taking a massive lead, like 2,500 gold. They've got Baron buff to be able to push for things. At minimum, it sets them up for next Dragon. It's a good setup. And I also want to point your attention to something, which is that Dia1 once again stood in the middle of the team the entire fight. Literally the whole fight with his ultimate on, and no one did anything. That has to be a problem, right?
Yeah, I mean, GAM are doing their best. They've got a Chempunk Chainsword on Kiai. They've got a Mortal Reminder on Cardi. They are doing what they can. Unfortunately, Cardi died. And Kiaya did not get to go near Dia1, so Dia1 just got to sit there and heal. So what I'm feeling is we're gonna need to work with a Font of Life Chemtech Putrefier from B to try and get everyone Grievous Wisp. Realistically, I don't know. You shouldn't really need more, but right now it's just so hard to cut through Dia1. He's building Zhonya's as well, so it's going to be even harder. So really, unfortunately, your job is to kill everyone else first really quickly. But that's not going to happen unless you're able to actually land that engage onto Celebrity straight away.
And again, I just want to point out, this isn't a team that dies quickly. There's, like, no one. Like, the two members that go down quickly are Celebrity and Paulette. Paulette can always get pulled out by Celebrity. Plus, he is just a nuke of his own, and Celebrity's got a bunch of mobility, and there isn't a ton of soft CC to really work with here on GAM. And so there's no way to exhaust, or to slow down except for exhaust. Ultimate onto Levi is just going to find one as he presses his ultimate and actually gets the no U button onto Levi. That's going to come through. DNK is just going to get run down. The rest of SE just not prepared for that fight, as too many members are here from the side of GAM, as they're going to push through Baron buff. They could try to push for mid tower, I suppose. I don't think they could go for 2, as Dia1 on the other side of the map is going to be looking for something. As Emperor, he walks into the middle of everybody, throws the ultimate through all 5 members, as that Vanguard's in do so much. Celebrity trying to find something, he gets one! He's going to go be underneath the tower. Celebrity's going to get a little more. B has to pull one out. Emperor, you mad lad! He pulls a kill! He stopped the push!
He gets a kill, he stops the mid tower. They're going to lose the dragon because of it, but that was kind of a gimme anyway for GAM. And my man has no fear. He's wearing that shirt. He doesn't. There's no poppy or anything to give him that one fear. And now Paulette wants to join in.
We're not done yet. Yeah, Paulette wants a little more. Yeah, he doesn't have ult, so it's a little weird. Celebrity's just in the middle of 5 members himself, trying to do his best Emperor impression. Now Dia1, he wants to be in the middle of everybody as best as possible. His ultimate's going to make him impossible to kill, and no one's doing damage to him. No one is doing damage to him. Unfortunately, B is able to use the W to gap because there's no hard CC. DNK, the only one remaining, doesn't quite have the ultimate up here right this second. And so because of that, he's going to poke around with the blue buff, probably try to get some reinforce from Dia1 if Dia1 was willing to come over, but instead he's not. Stridebreaker is going to be used to try to slow it down. Ultimate's going to be used as best as possible, but unfortunately no reinforce from the rest of the team as DNK goes down. As we get some scrappiness, SE just throwing jabs.
And Booger, I think, kind of got the rest of the team a little bit high feet there, because they're like, hey, Emperor can do it! Emperor can do it, we can do it! Paulette charges in! Oh, I have no ultimate. Celebrity also has no ultimate.
Yeah, see,
pull it back out.
See, this was Paulette's best effort. Yeah, he didn't even hit the Q because he style spell.
Yeah, if he had ultimate, this is nuts, this is insane, it all works out fantastically. He doesn't have it, so he dies. Dia1 is left alone, so no one can proc this Imperial Mandate, so he has no damage. And then DNK is like, well, there are 3 people down here. Dia1 is nearby, I guess. I'm gonna walk into their jungle.
And he sounds like
terrible idea.
You sound 4 levels of KI. Now, out of fairness, I think if Dia1 walks in with him, they can get away with at least the blue buff steal. Because there's no one around, and there's too much health, and Dia1 has good damage. Like, it's gonna be hard. At minimum, they probably trade, but like, yeah, but like, yeah, it's fine. I think they could have gotten away with the blue buff steal with a full health, like, Swain there. But DNK made the wrong decision. He was catching the wave. Like, it was just a bad call. As we're getting another play. Where's Emperor? He's not around right now. Oh, there it is. Okay, as the fight starts, that's an amazing ultimate from Paulette to kick things off just as fast as possible. As Emperor's just now going to enter the fight. He's going to find multiple. No one's lost health on this team. No one has lost health on the side of SE as they're trying to retreat as best as possible, but nobody is able to get out. Who did you do damage to? Where did your damage go, GAM? And nobody was able to do anything as 3 members are routed. B is going to get killed on the other side of the fight, and DNK is just running down Kiaya. He loses that one-on-one, but Kiaya just has to get out. Is this some support combat? Okay, B, I think, is going to be able to find a way out of this with that blast plan coming through, but Paulette is not going to let him. The question is whether Emperor's going to try to cut him off, because Emperor's running top lane right now. No, okay, I think they're just going to let him leave. Paulette, are you blind throw? This is far more interesting than what's happening on the other side of the map. Oh, he saw him! He missed! Oh, Paulette! Wait, Emperor's here. Okay, doesn't matter anymore. We're not concerned about the Tom catch. We're concerned about the mid inhibitor going down. DNK on the bottom side as well, able to catch the wave if he wants. But Kiaya did end up getting out as well, as it's a 3-kill fight for SE.
He also stopped that back just with the puddle, Paulette, so fantastic work. Look, yeah, SBTC just running over a team fight can't quite cut through all the healing out of D1 and Celebrity with the shield bow on his person. And from there, because they just dominate this fight, as it starts off with a great ultimate from Paulette, and then the flank from Enpa just to make sure that Helicardi, you stuck around too long trying to ultimate. They aren't able to burst through Kiaya. They can't really take through the tank. He's just too tanky. And then the supports, we got to see all that. But all in all, clean up fight. Nothing Kiaya and B can do as they push through mid. Get an inhibitor. Baron is now on the table. And with all this free mid pressure, oh no, are we just going to go for turret fight round 3?
It just might, apparently, because that's all we've been able to see so far. As it's also a couple of times now that, like, it feels very heavily like there's a lot of respect from GAM trying to catch the engagement from SE, where, like, right there, they all kind of fled. They didn't want to get hit by Stridebreaker from DNK, combined with, like, Fate's Call coming out. But because of that, they drove a lot of their damage. Specifically, Style had walked so far backwards in that fight that no auto attacks really went off, which is another reason why I felt like they were doing 0 damage in that. Because, again, you're relying on Kadi and GAM to do quite a bit, but just wasn't enough in that last fight, especially when this team, like you said, has all this sustain. We're just playing ARAMs at this point right now. See if anything else comes to fruition from this. Dragon's going to be available in just a couple of seconds as both teams have left this point up for a little bit of time.
Emperor's slowly made his way to level 17. He is 2 levels ahead of Carty right now. It's just going to be lots of just base stats, a lot of pressure coming in from the side of SBTC, and they're going to try and Garmin's just going to try and funnel towards the top side to basically call the threat. Say, you can't really start this dragon. You have to come to us at Baron.
What? Flash keys. Okay, they're going to look and try and see if they can find just the one. They're going to look for Kiaya, who's in Mininar and not able to get anywhere else. That's a huge ult from Emperor as well, not blocked by Kadi. And that's a couple of members. Levi tried to find some damage, but there's just not enough between the Yasuo-Diana combination. And that's 3 members down from the side of GAM for nothing. Nada.
They don't even want the Baron.
Half the health bar of DNK. They don't care about the Baron. They can just try to end the game, I suppose. They've got mid inhibitor down, and how are they supposed to stop them? Styles the only one left. And Palette's just poking around at him. I think it's really just going to be them trying to crash this wave as quick as possible. If they want to be safe, they could take maybe 15 seconds to try this. If it doesn't work, they could go to Dragon and Baron. But it seems like they should be able to finish this one out really quickly as Style and B try to mount the defense just as best as possible. They're going to drop the exhaust just to try to find something as Celebrity is jumping in on top of Sivir. Style's going to have to go into gold mode to make sure he survives, but it's just not enough as SE have found themselves a first game win against GAM for the 2nd time this season.